Let's reset for December. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. In today's video, we're going to be resetting for December of 2025, and as always, I have already filmed and published a dedicated monthly budget with me for December if you want to see what our finances are looking like for December. And then by the time that you're watching this, I will likely already have published my monthly December plan with me as well if you want to see how I'm setting up my planner for December. I think that video is going up before this one. At any rate, let's go ahead and dive into this video. We're going to be recapping our finances from November goals, doing November reflections, highs, lows, lessons, favorites, habits, all the things. Let's get into it. As always, I am going to be referencing my Notion, which is on my iPad, and we are going to start with talking about November finances. Let's talk about the things that we wanted to do and did, and then we'll talk about the things that we wanted to do but failed to do. We wanted to and did the following things: invest 15% of our paychecks, pay our monthly credit card bill, save $15,000, pay for my clinical exam, random acts of kindness, pay fee. I don't even know what that is. Pay fee. We did it. Pay doctor copay. I do remember that. Anniversary date. I don't even know where we went for our anniversary, but somewhere. Buy Thanksgiving food. My husband and I just celebrated Thanksgiving at home by ourselves, so we did that. Buy book club birthday gifts. Buy books. I think that's what that is. Buy books club birthday gift. Maybe I meant buy the book club gifts. We're gonna go with that. Did do that. Buy home goods. So by home goods, I mean just random little bits and bobs around the house. I have been making it my mission to purchase those items because, you know, when you're a homeowner, I just feel like you always got a thing or two that you need to purchase for the house. So just like small things. I don't really remember what we purchased specifically for November, but we did do that. And we did all of those things. What we did not do is create a Black Friday budget because we didn't go Black Friday shopping at all. Sources say this past Black Friday, there was a record spending, aka the most money that's been spent to date on Black Friday. I did not participate in any of the Black Friday shopping, though I might participate in Cyber Monday. Actually, I don't want to participate in it necessarily, but there is something that I have been looking at, which is a robot vacuum. I would like to have another one of those, and I don't have one currently, but I would really like another one. So if I see a good deal, I might snag that, but otherwise not really that concerned about Cyber Monday. I put on here to pay our counseling fee, but we didn't go to counseling. And then I put to schedule the OBGYN and book a laser hair removal appointment, and we know that I didn't do that. We had 4 paydays, 2 from my full-time job and 2 from my husband's. Normally there's a mileage check in there somewhere, but either I didn't get it or maybe I didn't send it in time for it to be sent to me yet. So it's probably going to come in the first week of December or something like that. That would be for my October mileage. Oh, that would make sense while it's all jacked up. Anyway, moving along, for how much money we spent in total, we spent $5,992.29, which is a lot of money, but I am proud to say that it is, you know, far less than the amount that we bring in per month, and is below $6,000. So that sits right with my spirit. I think in a perfect world, that would be at like $5,000. That's already a lot of money. Let's be clear. I think everything's a lot of money. So there's that. I don't see a world where we're spending any less than like $4,500 per month. $5,000 would give us some wiggle room. So we'll see. I'm just saying that because if you take our mortgage, our electricity, our car payment, and some of those larger bills, we're already up to like $2,500, $3,000. So I don't see a world where we're spending less than $45,000, but I can see a world where we're spending about $5,000 to $5,500 maybe. That would be ideal. At any rate, let's talk about any expenses that we have that are regular. Oh, I see the fee now. We had a fee for $300. Oh, it was our anniversary month, so that's fun. I am looking, what I like to do is just see if there's anything irregular. We had an oil change and such, for which we spent $119.86. I went to this sporting event with my husband for $8, and he got in free because he's an educator in this city that we're in. I work in a different district, so I can't get into the games for free. We went to the State Farm Arena. I think my husband went to a Lakers game and spent $31.33 there. And then we also went to a Lakers game. So he went to one, and then we also went to one as well, but we haven't gotten to that yet. Let's see. Oh, that was at the Spectrum Center. So we spent $15 there. That's probably parking. Then we spent $31.37 and $17.31 altogether for that. And the tickets, my ticket was free. My husband's was not. Originally, I wasn't going, and I decided last minute I wanted to go, and I was able to redeem a free ticket. So that's exciting. We are no longer paying our car insurance in full for the whole 6 months. We're going to be paying it monthly for now. I think we'll just stick to it. Why not? So we did pay our car insurance in November, and it was $142.03. That was how much we spent for our first installment. And that's something new for us because we've been paying for probably 8 years. We've been paying the car insurance premium in full. I went to a winery with my coworkers for $42.47. And I think I paid for the driver's wine maybe or something because she was driving, and if you're driving, I like to reimburse you in some type of way if we're using your gas. We also went to lunch that day, and I spent $50 on that. And then I went to the doctor. I had a copay of $35. I had such a good doctor's report, so that's exciting. If that's not listed in my November reflections or my highs, then it needs to be. I'll need to add it in there. And I'm just looking. I don't really see. I had some friend dates and such. We went to At Home to buy some furniture for our house for $97.63. Outdoor furniture. Oh, I did go ahead and pay for my flight to Miami for $80. That's in January for my friend's birthday. And then also I paid for my parking at the airport for $19. So I did get that out of the way. That's exciting. And then literally nothing else is really standing out to me like something worth mentioning. You know, I see some restaurant visits and such, but nothing is really standing out to me. One thing that we've almost mastered is keeping our living expenses to a certain amount of our income. Therefore, we are not ever running up against not being able to pay our bills. But one thing we chronically need to be working on and getting better at is the miscellaneous category, or the shopping category technically, and just the amount that we spend on shopping, not clothes and shoes and traditional shopping, but I'm talking gas for our cars and restaurants and dates and friend dates, dates with my husband, dates together, you know, those types of things. That has to constantly be monitored because we don't want to be spending excessively in that area. But all in all, November was great for our finances. I am thrilled with what came of that. So let's go ahead now and recap the month of November. Let's start with our highs for November. I put intimate conversations. I don't know what that means. I just know that at some point I was having intimate conversations and I put that as a high. I literally don't remember. So there's that. I put reconnection. Don't know what that means either. I put a wine walk and an after party. Oh, I went on a wine walk with one of my friends, and we ran into it's one of her old colleagues because she no longer works with me, but it's one of my current colleagues. And we hung out and went to like this after party rooftop bar thing. And that was so fun to just be hanging out on a whim like that. So, it was especially cool for them to know each other because I didn't know that they knew each other. So that was fun. So anyway, that's on here. I put November book club. That was really fun. The author came to our book club. That's always fun. I put time with loved ones. I put Charlotte date featuring snow. My husband and I went to the Spectrum Center to the Lakers, you know, to watch the Lakers and the Hornets, and it started snowing. It wasn't a lot. It was like 10 minutes worth of snow. It didn't stick, but that was very whimsical as we were walking to the Spectrum Center with it snowing. That was elite, especially since we live in the South and it doesn't snow too much. I put on here Girls Day. That's when I hung out with my coworkers and went to that winery and stuff. We did a little shopping. That was fun. Or perusing. I don't know if anybody really bought anything, but we did go into a few boutiques and that was fun. I put passing my clinical exam because that is hands down the best thing that happened to me in November. If you have been here for a while, then you know that I have been trying to take and pass my clinical exam for years, and I was running out of time technically. Like, not really, because I could just reapply, but who wants to do that? So I had to take and pass this exam before yesterday, aka November the 30th. I was able to book a time to take it on Friday the 21st, and I passed my clinical exam, and I'm really thrilled. One might say I passed with flying colors, so I'm excited about that. And then that was just the best start to kicking off our week off from work. So I went into last week with being an independently licensed social worker and having passed that exam, which was something I've been trying to do for like I said, years. But this year I was really determined. So I'm excited to have passed that, the highlight of my life for sure. Thanksgiving break, spent that with my husband and my dog. I did have a couple friend dates during that time, but for the most part, I just slept as little as I wanted on purpose. I'm not a person who likes sleeping a little, but if it means that I can take a nap whenever because I'm not on a schedule, then I'm going to stay up late or just not be so stressed about sleep. So just not having any structure or rules or anything was super fun. My husband and I had a ball, and I can't wait until winter break in 3 weeks. Book warehouse outlet, book warehouse outlet, I think that's what you call it, and a winery trip with two of my friends here. They're also in the book club that I'm a part of, and we were hanging out a little bit before we got into the book club or created the book club, but even since then we've gotten even closer, so we hang out as we see fit. And then I put on here a great doctor's report because I went to the doctor for a 6-month checkup and I had a good report, and for the labs that were run, they were normal, so I'm excited about that. For Lowe's, I put my job because my job has been kicking my butt in November, or really the past month. Like, it's been quite interesting. More on that at a later date. I put Dr. Pepper Blackberry Zero Sugar. I saw somebody drinking that. I copied them. I didn't even ask them if they liked it. I just was like, ooh, I need to go try that. I didn't need to try that. It's absolutely gross, and I will not be taking part of that drink anymore. I will stick to my Coke Zero. I don't know what compelled me to do that. It just looked cute and fun and like something I would like, but no. And then a low was, of course, studying for my exam. Yes, I passed it, but I don't like studying, and so having to spend hours of my time studying for that exam was not fun for me. For favorites, I put family outing, blackberry scent. That was the scent of the month for November. November scent of the month was black cherry, and it was elite. Fall weather, fried Oreos, slick back bun. I think I was wearing a slick bun in November. November was low-key a blur, but I'm trying. Alani energy drinks, I bought a whole pack of them, and I got to try multiple flavors because it was a variety pack. Blueberry lemon drop martinis, I made us some of those in November. I remember that. I put freebies. Do I know what that means? No, I have no idea. Oh, unless I mean I got a lot of free stuff in November. Like when I babysat for my friend, I shopped her stockpile. That's pretty much my self-imposed payment for babysitting. I don't actually want any actual money or any money spent on me for babysitting, but I will surely shop her stockpile specifically for stuff that she doesn't need or want, but she has. Like sometimes she finds deals on shaving cream and stuff, but they don't shave in that house, so I take those things, you know, stuff like that. So maybe that's what I'm talking about. Also at the book club, the author came and gave us books and bags and little gifts and stuff. So that must be what I'm talking about. I went to the wine walk and got some free stuff there. So maybe that's what I'm talking about. And then I have on here shopping as a favorite. What shopping did I do? I don't know. Oh, I know what I'm talking about. This has to be what I'm talking about. I did some shopping in November because I was in charge of buying the birthday gifts for the book club members. So everybody sent their money. I made a list of everything that I wanted to buy for the girlies, and I went forth and I shopped, and I went to probably 5 different stores. And while I don't like shopping traditionally, my issue with shopping is I don't want to spend my own money shopping. So shopping using other people's money, and some of mine, of course, but like not that much in the grand scheme of things, because we all contributed, you know, like a smaller amount. So I wasn't spending a lot of my personal money. That I can get behind. So that must be what I mean. And that's all that I put for favorites. I feel like I had more favorites, but that's all that I put. So we're going to go with it. For lessons, I put on here that I run a strict program, and I do. That became apparent to me and becomes apparent to me every time I'm having conversations with wives in particular, and they talk about their marriages, and I'm like, ooh, I'm not saying I'm going to let up on my husband by no means, by any means, but sometimes I'm like, ooh, maybe I am a little bit hard on the guy, because I do run a strict program. I'm pretty strict in other areas as well. More strict in other areas. So that's a lesson that I learned. It's strict over here. It's real strict over here. Another thing I put is constant disrespecting less than sign. I think I put that because I cannot abide any constant disrespecting. I think this is in relation to work because we'll just leave it at that. But I cannot deal with just being constantly disrespected. That's a lesson that I learned in November, is that I know that I don't like disrespect. It's kind of cringy to me. It's not kind of, it's pretty cringy to me, but a person just constantly disregarding a person's boundaries, or just constantly engaging in the same type of maladaptive behaviors or negative behaviors, I just struggle with a whole lot. Like, unless you're a child or one of my clients, I just have a hard time with that. So I think that's where that lesson came from as it relates to work. I put on here that I stand up for me, which I think that came to me because I feel like if no one's gonna stand up for me, then I will. So I have to stand on business about me. I put on here that I can do hard things. I think that was in relation to me taking my clinical exam, because it was the hardest thing that I've ever done. Studying for that exam, prepping for it, just going through the whole process of what it takes to become independently licensed as a clinical social worker is a task. Thousands of clinical hours I had to partake in. 100 supervision hours. I had to take 3 additional college classes. I had to do a lot of stuff that's just scratching the surface. And it was extremely hard, and it's over, and I never have to do it again, so I'm thrilled. Although, I kind of want a licensure in another state, and the requirements are more than what my current requirements are. So I may have to somewhat do the process again. Not the whole process, but I may have to take an additional course or do an additional thing or two, but it's not going to be anything like what I already did. Most importantly, I don't have to take that exam ever again, because that's the same exam that anybody who has a similar licensure to me would have taken, or will have to have taken, or would have to have taken in any state. So I don't have to take that exam again. So I will maybe have to do like a couple things if I want licensure in other states, but I won't have to do everything. So it won't be as hard. I put on here that I am not scared of any person except for Judge Marilyn Milian. I love watching her show. I've been watching it my whole life, and I'm always like, her program is real strict too. Like, I can only imagine. And so she's scary to me, and I love that for her because she stands on business, and I love that. But I think I could go toe to toe with any human in this world except for Judge Milian. Like, sis is, I love her. I just love her. And then I put on here that I refuse to be ridiculed for harmless mistakes. Now, I don't know where that came about, but I feel like I remember, but like I don't remember at the same time. But just know that that is something that I stand on, because we're all going to make mistakes in life, you know? And I just am not going to be beating myself up or allow people to ridicule me for harmless mistakes. If I spell something wrong, whoop-de-doo, it's spelled wrong. You're going to have to use your context clues to figure out what I was trying to spell. In fact, if you're so smart and smart enough to call out my typo, then I'm entrusting that you're smart enough to know what I was trying to spell or trying to say. So I'm counting on people to be able to do that. That's just an example. I'm not going to be ridiculed for spelling something wrong or for typos. I'm not going to be ridiculed for accidentally dropping something. You know, I don't allow that. I wasn't raised in a household where I was ridiculed for mistakes and stuff. And I just refuse to allow the world to do that to me. There are some things that I hold sacred and dear to me, because that's what the example was in my household growing up. And so I just refuse to subscribe to certain ideologies, I guess, because I wasn't exposed to those. That's just weird for me, and I just want no parts and stuff like that. So that's what I mean by I refuse to be ridiculed for harmless mistakes. For habits, I was tracking journaling, exercising, reading, studying, skincare, low calorie, low carb, no spin, no alcohol, medications, vitamins, sleeping 7 or more hours per night. And I did great with journaling. I did terrible with exercising. I did great with reading. I didn't do that great with the studying in November, I feel like, but I didn't study a lot of days, but the days that I did study, it was serious business. And my husband was helping me study too, so I had to be able to recall certain information because somebody else was, you know, inquiring about it, and I was accountable to someone else. So the days that I did study were good study days, but I just didn't study a lot. I did my skincare every day. I didn't really track low calorie, low carb, no spin. I did terribly. Not drinking alcohol, like honestly, I would say I did terribly with that as well. And I did great with medications, vitamins, and sleeping 7+ hours. Before we move on, let me show you my mood board for November. And I've just been showing it to you like this. I don't think this is the right way to go about this, but here we are. This is my straight hair. I got my hair straightened in October, and then I kind of just stretched out the style basically for November. So that's me with straight hair and bangs. That's my black cherry scent. There we go. Me and my puppy girl, lemon drop martinis, the child that I babysit, my friend's son. And then, what is that? Oh, that's at the winery. Also, the owner of the winery has a social work background. And so that was fun, just getting to know Deb at the winery and chatting with her and learning that she is a social worker. I think she's still maintaining her licensure. So social worker, that's us at the wine walk and the after party. That's just a photo of me at work. Roses from my husband, I think, for our anniversary, or maybe those were roses from when I passed my test, or flowers when I passed my test. I don't know. He got me flowers for both. I think that's the family outing. I read Orchid. That's my friend Jennifer at the wine walk. I saw Jennifer 3 times, so that's a lot. That's a lot of times for November. That's the book club meeting. I read Rhythms Blues, and then those are the books that I got at the Book Warehouse outlet. And then I went to see Lights with my friend for one of our friend dates. I read The Housemaid. I read The Situationship. That's our Thanksgiving meal. And I read The Great Alone. That's my husband and me at the Lakers game. That is another photo of my puppy girl. That is me and my coworkers. Actually, Jennifer is an ex-coworker, but we still hang together. The 4 of us, or she might come hang if you know, it's just the counselors getting together, because she's still familiar with the other counselors, of course. And then that's us for our little girls' day. And then I think that covers it. And of course, me, that's a screenshot of the clinical exam, and it's saying that I passed, so that was exciting. And I think that's it. I tried to, you know, show you that backwards, but I think I covered everything. So let's go ahead now and move on to November goals. I wanted to take a personal day, and I did do that, of course. I put November 23rd, and on November 23rd, I did whatever I wanted to, because that's what a self-care personal day is all about. I wanted to read 4 books. I read 5, but the Situationship was a very short read. So it does count, but it's a very short read. For self-care, I did not do any of those things. Didn't complete any home projects. We did invest 15% of our paychecks and save at least $1,500. For hosting or visiting friends and family, I did do that, and I visited with them and stuff and hung out, but I did not host any in November, tragically. Study for my exam. I completed all of that. I wanted to study, schedule the exam, take the exam, and pass the exam. And so I'm so thrilled that that is no longer, you know, at the top of my to-do list ever. I did not secure a sponsorship. I did plan my videos monthly, but I did not film 2 videos weekly, I don't think. So we can't check off that. And then I did tragically with my health and wellness, like as far as working out. So I did not accomplish, I did not meet that goal either. Moving on to December goals. I want to take one personal day, and I am putting December the 6th. I don't know why, but why not? YOLO. And then I want to read at least 4 books. I am just starting Remarkably Bright Creatures. And then I also want to read The Fall Risk, which is a short story. Life's Too Short, The Housemaid's Secret, and The Housemaid is Watching, and The Housemaid's Wedding. And then The Four Winds and Twice Upon a Christmas. We will see. I think that I will read 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like 5 of them, but we'll see. I definitely got to read Twice Upon a Christmas, because that's the book club book for December. I want to do all of the same self-care things, but in addition, I have on here to buy new candles. I am pretty sure that Bath & Body Works' Candle Day is going to be this Saturday, December the 6th, because it's always the first Saturday in December. And traditionally, I have shopped it, and I did get a couple of candles. That's another thing. I helped my friend move, and she was getting rid of a bunch of stuff, and so I got a bunch of stuff from her. I got like 3 candles. 2 of them I think are Bath & Body Works. I got some patio furniture. I got a bunch of like random stuff. So I think that's also what I meant by freebies. I just got a lot of free stuff in November. But I do think I'm going to buy candles, but I don't think it's going to be nothing crazy. I think I will buy maybe like 6, 7, 8, something like that. Maybe 5. That's about $50 worth of candles. That seems appropriate. Maybe I'll buy like 5. Maybe my favorite ones. I've been burning candles less. Ideally, I will, you know, eventually switch to a candle warmer. And even though I love the vibes of burning actual candles, you know, eventually that's my plan to do that. So I've been cutting back. So I'm happy about that. I only burn them really if I need to get rid of a smell, like the onion smell or bacon smell. I hate both of them. Or if somebody's coming over, you know, that's pretty much it. Otherwise, I try not to burn candles. I want to do all the same home projects. Also decorate for Christmas. I should probably put that on here. I don't know, it's like a given, but I guess I'll put it on here anyway, because why not? So I'm gonna put decorate for Christmas. And then I want to invest 15% of our paychecks, as well as save at least $3,000, because December is always a good month for saving for us. Same stuff for hosting or for friends and family. Same stuff as far as scheduling friend dates, catching up with a friend, all of that. For career, I mean, it's no surprise that I welcome the idea of a new role. or a new position. And then I put on here to secure 1 sponsorship, YOLO, and then publish 8 YouTube videos. I would like to do that. And then work out 3 times per week. Except I put on here to lose 6 pounds because my friend and I are trying to do a challenge where we lose a certain amount of weight before our Miami trip for her birthday. And I would need to lose 6 pounds in December to be even remotely close to meeting that goal. Normally I try to lose 4 pounds a month or 1 pound per week, but I'm going with 6 pounds for December. So we'll see how that goes. That is going to do it for today's video. That's everything. And I think we have successfully reset for December, which is very fitting because today's December 1st and it's a Monday and it just scratches a part of my brain. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, give this video a like, subscribe if you're new, and if you're liking what you're seeing, and I will catch you guys right back here in a few days in a brand new video. Bye guys.